last time I reviewed a Morgan, which you can read on our website, motoringme.com, it was rather hot. And I did say at the time that when the weather is better, I'm going to get another one. Well, the weather in Dubai right now is glorious, and I have gone and got myself another Morgan. But whereas that one that I reviewed was the Morgan Roadster with a Mustang-sourced V6 engine, giving it 280 brake horsepower. This one is the Morgan Plus 4. Now, these names don't relate to seats or sizes or anything like that. They just indicate the sort of level of engine hierarchy within the Morgan range. So what is the Plus 4? The Plus 4 actually has a 2-litre Ford 4-cylinder engine that puts out 154 brake horsepower and 148 pounds-foot of torque. This gives it a 0 to 100 of a very respectable hot hatch equaling 7.5 seconds and a top speed of 189 kilometers per hour, whilst only sipping 7.1 litres per 100 in terms of fuel economy. How does it do that? It weighs hardly anything, 927 kilograms here. So how does this compare to the Morgan that I drove before? Well, that with 280 brake horsepower was about 2 seconds quicker, as you can imagine, and 35 kilometers per hour faster. The big difference, of course, like I said, $65,000 for this one, $83,000 for that one, and UAE price 300,000 dirhams. But aside from that, very little difference between these two cars, and really visually you could hardly tell the difference. 2-seater, you can actually get these as 4-seaters, but all the ones in the UAE at the moment are 2-seaters, the ones that have been officially imported through IRAS Classics and Customs in Dubai. Is there boot space? See, normally we do a walk around on these cars and we show you some boot space. I will attempt to show you some space. Come with me. So there's no way to get into this bit here, but then I believe the fuel tank is probably there, as you can see from the fuel filler cap standing proud there, and a beautiful thing it is too. Plus 4 it says on the back. Some Morgans come with a spare wheel on the back, this one doesn't. So what little space you do have, you will find underneath this canopy, not power assisted of course, purely manual canopy, and there's enough space in here for a couple of squashy bags, my tripod and my jacket is in here, and actually it's not too bad at all, a little deep on this side, so there's a fair amount of room, and for smaller stuff you can access it just from between the seats here, so you could actually pull one of these seats forward and access your bags and stuff like that. You might think it's small. A lot of people have said to me, you're 6'2" tall, how do you get into this thing? Actually, maybe getting in and out is a bit of an issue, but once you're in, it's not really a problem at all. Let me demonstrate. Okay, so you can actually take these windows off. I hope you can see them. There's just 2 little bolts here, and you can just take these off on both sides and stick them in the back behind the seats, and it just gives you an even more open feel. But leaving them on is fine also. Like I said, getting in and out, a bit more of an issue, but actually if you just step into it and then slide down, it's okay. Getting out can be a little bit more cumbersome. So very, very simple. Doors on here. These windows do have these slide screens. Probably more for tolls when you're out touring, and you see, and that's the thing about this car. It is a bit of a car that you can tour in. Let's get that there. Might help to hear me a little bit better. In here there's not very much. There's a glove compartment, I would say. It doesn't have a lid on there. Fairly deep footwell down there, but good enough, like my phone and my glasses and everything is in there, no problem at all. This one doesn't have a stereo. The other Morgan that we tried did have a stereo underneath here. Funny enough, it does have an external aerial outside, which you can pull out if you need it, but so maybe it's probably got an installation for that. It does have heating and I believe aircon as well. I don't know how effective that would be. I can't vouch for it. I haven't attempted to use it. I did attempt to use the heating last night because it was a bit cold here in Dubai when I was on the road, and my goodness, you know, it's a British car and the heating is fantastic, phenomenal. In fact, heated up things very, very quickly. Just a blast of hot air coming out of here. Nice dials, classic analog dials, very, very pretty. Prettier, I think, in this car than in the Mustang version, because the Mustang version uses the Mustang dials on that one. In front of me I have temperature and a fuel gauge. So very simple, neutrals, just a 5-speed manual in this car. Mazda sourced actually, very, very nice change. Very, very slick, never miss a gear with that one. Having said that, I'll probably miss a gear now on camera, but so far I haven't done. fly on, fly off handbrake. It takes a bit of getting used to. So you basically lift up the top bit and release it to go down. Then you pull it and push down the top bit to lock it into place. It took me a while. Sounds easy, but it takes me a while just to get my head around that. You have some wing mirrors which you can sort of manually adjust, but you know, easier to just look over your shoulder. Center mirror is quite good. First gear, off we go. Now, if you remember me driving the other Morgan, I took off in the car and I got first gear wheel spin, second gear wheel spin, third gear wheel spin. Now I'm unfortunately, this is not a good idea. I'm just managing to wrap the microphone cable around the steering. Let me get rid of that out there. Hopefully that won't get in the way now. So I managed to get wheel spin. Safety first. So I managed to get wheel spin in every gear. This one, not so much. Again, no traction, not even power assisted steering. I'm not even sure if the brakes are ABS. Second gear wheel spin. Third gear, no third gear wheel spin. But generally, actually, even from takeoff, you don't normally get wheel spin. I mean, I induced a wheel spin there, but generally, you can just start off very normally and, you know, a little bit of chirpiness and off it goes. But it's very easy. The clutch is very easy on this car, and it's very easy to drive very smoothly. And this is the fundamental difference between this and, say, a Caterham. A Caterham is full on hardcore, and the only way to drive the Caterham is flat out all the time. This thing, I have been driving this all day yesterday in all kinds of conditions, from motorways to traffic to around town, and it's absolutely fine. You can just cruise around in this car all day long, no issue whatsoever. So a couple of things that took me a while to get used to. Non-power assisted steering, as I've said, but very stodgy as well. Not quite linear, not quite smooth, a little bit of stickiness. So it takes a while to get used to that. Again, you need a bit of muscle as well. And the turning circle is not great either. It's got quite a wide turning circle, unless you want to spin turn everywhere, which you could just about got enough torque for, but not as much as the V6, for example. There is a V8 version of this, and I can't imagine what that one feels like. It's got BMW V8. Wowzers! I think the V6 Mustang engine is good enough, but this one is actually very, very nice and a very suitable application for this car. Now, why I say that is because whereas I really enjoyed the Mustang and I really enjoyed the torquiness and the sheer response of the engine in that car, this engine package combination feels a bit more authentic to this car. It feels like this is how the Morgan was meant to be. Not too much power, just enough power, and this is plenty quick enough, plenty fuels quick enough, especially with the roof down. You know, you could be doing 100, you know, I mean, we're doing 110 right now, and I feel like I'm doing considerably faster than that, you know. Excuse me. But you are open to the elements and you do feel everything. The roof is fairly easy to put up. You just literally pull it up, lock it into two catches on each side, click it into place, and then secure it at the back. That's it, done. I have not driven this car at all with the roof up. A, because I'm a bit tall, and B, because why? Why should I? The weather's fantastic, and last night I had to have a woolly hat and a scarf, and I was like, I don't care, that's how I'm going to drive it, because that's the way to experience this car, and that's the way to enjoy it. The other thing I was going to say, steering I mentioned, the other thing was the brakes. The brakes take a lot of getting used to. A pedal box is definitely different on this car, and I'll demonstrate why here. Now, I remember in the other one, look at this, around the corners, it holds on gamely. The nose kind of, you feel like it's running wide, but that's just because it's so long. But then you're sitting on the back axle, so you can really feel exactly, you know, where the back axle is. And it works absolutely fine. So what I was mentioning about the brakes and what I'm mentioning actually about the pedal is that the pedal arrangement is definitely different in this car, because I couldn't heel and toe in the other car, whereas this one seems to be actually set up. The ideal way to use the brakes in this car seems to be to heel and toe, because the brake pedal itself, they're all floor hinged, and the brake pedal itself is at an odd angle. So you have to kind of lift your foot up a little bit. Maybe it's just my long gangly legs that are causing a problem, but you have to just lift your foot a little bit to get purchase on that brake pedal. Otherwise, if you try and hit it like a normal brake pedal, sometimes it doesn't actually move, and you're like, oh my God, they're not going to stop, we're going to die! that hasn't happened so far, thank God. But so just be aware of actually just turning your foot a little bit and just being able to grip the throttle as well. It's just a nice way of doing that. Now, talking of dying, or not dying rather, this isn't a car with many safety features, as you can imagine. I'm not even sure. No, yep, there you go, there was a test. I was going to say I'm not even sure if it's got ABS, and I don't think it does have ABS. So there you go, you're on your own. You really are on your own in this car. But what it does do is that it makes you very, very aware of everything around you. It makes you aware of your surroundings. It makes you aware of your environment. It makes you very aware of other drivers and the danger that they pose. And particularly in this car, because everybody wants to look at it. So very often you're aware of cars that have just slowed down next to you because they're taking pictures. And that happens a lot. One thing you do get in this car a lot is that you are an instant superstar. Everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody wants to find out what this car is. Everybody's be your friend. And it behoves you to be nice, to smile and wave and with a cheerio and all this sort of stuff, you know, because that's what this car brings out in you anyway. So, as I was saying, it makes you a better driver because you have to think about your steering inputs, because you know, you need the inputs. You have to think about the braking because the brakes aren't instant. They take a while to come into effect, and you have to go quite way down through the progression of the pedal before they start to bite. So you plan ahead, you think ahead, no sudden movements. You're looking around, you're focusing, you're creating a roadmap in your mind, and you're going, this is what I need to be prepared for, this is my next maneuver. And all of that is making you a better driver, I believe. It also, this car makes this car fundamentally a more exciting and enticing drive than any modern supercar. So some people would have said to me, well, 240,000 dirhams, $65,000, that's a lot of money for an old car. But this isn't an old car, it's a brand new car with a brand new mechanicals and drivetrain. But the driving experience that you get, no brand new modern 230 or 240,000 dirham or $65,000 car can match. None of them. Because this is visceral, this is real, this is what driving was like, this is what it should be like, this is when you feel like you are actually driving this car. One final thing to mention, I just touched on it there, is that this car does have a modern engine, a modern gearbox, and like I said with the other Morgan, the beauty of this car is that you get the experience of a classic car. You get the compromise, you get the discomfort or the comfort, because once you're in here, I'm very comfortable. You get all of that stuff. You get the character, the charisma, the style of a classic car. But I drove this around yesterday, I was looking at the temperature needle, never moved, never budged, listening for rattles and sounds and squeaks, no issue. This particular car hasn't had any single issue whatsoever with it, over 400 kilometers so far. And it's a modern car. It's a classic car, but it's a modern car. You could drive it every day, you can abuse it, you can do what you like with it, and it will be fine. The car actually comes with a 2.5-year service and warranty plan as well, for further peace of mind. Anyway, go check these guys out, IRAS in Dubai Festival City in Dubai. They got a great lineup of cars. And do also check us out, motoringme.com, and find us on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please do subscribe and tell all your friends if you liked it. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to go drive this car more because I have to give it back, but I don't want to. So I'm going to prolong this as much as possible because I love this car. Thank you so much, guys. Until the next video. This is a mic test that we're doing for a review on the Morgan Plus 4. Where is this line from? You don't understand. I'm a man. Well, nobody's perfect.